If you like to focus on the positive and steer away from the negative, you're in the right place. Welcome, all joy bunnies. This is the My Slice of Life podcast. Hello and welcome to the My Slice of Life podcast. Thanks for joining me. This is the last episode in this season. This season's been all about finding the joy in every day, and today we are looking at the joy that owning a pet can bring us. Welcome friends, my name is Sharon, I am your Highland host, and I wanted to talk to you this week about those furry friends. I'm going to go with furry friends because that's the kind I always have had. I know some people have creepier ones, but that's not for me, but just, okay, friends in general, but for me, furry friends. And I want to talk about the benefits of owning a pet. And you see, if you look it up online, it's all health sites and pet insurance sites, of course, and dog food sites. That's the main ones that came up. And I thought there's got to be, more than this. People are interested. Why do we have this need to have a pet in the house? What is it that they give us that most of us just, for some reason, were drawn to it? I always used to say that a house without a pet just didn't feel right. There was something missing. So what is it that we get from them that just keeps bringing us back time and time again? Now, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you will know that we have a crazy dog. He is a lurcher. He's called Scooby. His full name is Scooby-Doo, but most of the time he gets Scooby-Don't, so we just shortened it to Scooby. But before him, most of my adult life, it was just cats. I had cats just loved cats. So this is my first dog in a while. Growing up, we had dogs. So for us, one of the main benefits about having a dog is they get you out. They get out for fresh air. You get exercise. They get exercise. And that can have positives and negatives. I mean, my goodness, this last wee while with the wind and the weather and everything we've had. But you still have to take them out. And it's not always that bad. You can be sitting in the house and you think, oh, it looks horrible out there, I'm not going out. Once you get out, you think, you know what, I'm glad I'm here. It's great, it's nice. So they get you out, and they can also help start up a conversation. When we first got Scooby, the amount of people who would stop and speak to me purely because they wanted to see him, it was incredible. I would come back after a walk, I'd say to my husband, like, we've lived here for however many years it was at the time, and, you can go up and down the high street and you get the odd hello. But it was just phenomenal, the number of people who would stop and want a conversation with you because of your dog. He was 4 months old when we got him, and he is adorable looking. I say adorable looking, he was very naughty yesterday, so he's in the doghouse, and he knows it. He won't even look at me now. But yeah, we took him out and he went absolutely mental at another dog. So he's quite reactive at times, depending on the size of the dog. This was a big dog, so he lost it. But they do help start up conversations. That's where I was going with that. Apparently there was a 2019, because I was looking this up, and they did a study, and it was published in the Scientific Reports in 2019. They found in the UK that dog owners were 4 times more likely to get at least 150 minutes exercise a week compared to non-dog owners. See, when you think about it, that's a heck of a big difference. We are 4 times more likely. I think the 150 minutes is like some new piece of advice that they've given or they've come up with now. They always have to put a number on it, don't they? So we are 4 times more likely to reach that number than somebody who doesn't have a dog. If you have a cat, you're just going to have to make yourself go out for a walk. Sorry, but you're going to have to do it. So in general, so not just dog related, but in general, they have found that people who own pets, they tend to have lower blood pressure. That's a big, big deal, because what's one of the major things they keep telling us now is a big killer. It's one of the biggest health concerns, and that is blood pressure. But they find just having a pet tends to lower the blood pressure. They also obviously help prevent loneliness. So that is a big deal these days. People aren't getting married as young. There's a lot more people now living on their own or really quite socially isolated. People aren't mixing as much as they used to. We're all online. So loneliness can be a real big problem, and having a pet can help to overcome that obstacle, which I like. I like that idea. Now, you've probably thought, it's nice to have if you have a cat curled up on your lap or you're sitting petting your dog. Did you know just petting your pet boosts your feel-good hormones as well as your animals, but it boosts your levels of oxytocin and your endorphin levels, and it decreases your stress hormone, cortisol. Now put all that together and just do that simple act of getting your pet beside you and giving them a wee pet helps to de-stress you, lowers anxiety levels. It can actually help with depression, loneliness and social isolation, like I said, but just makes you feel good and it makes you feel calmer. Now, like I say, they've done a lot of studies about the benefits of owning a pet, and they also found out that owning a pet is associated with increased sense of meaning and purpose. Because, those days you don't want to get up, or you can't be bothered, the weather's terrible, whatever it may be, or you don't want to go out, you can't put it off if you have a pet. You have that responsibility for them, and boy, do they let you know it. How many times has your pet looked at you and looked at their empty bowl and went, oi, get the job done. But they do increase that sense of purpose. It's something you have to do, and it's something we want to do. There was another study which I found really interesting, this part, because they found that pet owners were found to have fewer ailments, such as just headaches and colds. We don't get sick as much as people who don't have any pets. And I'm wondering if that's because we're in contact with their germs all the time, and so we build up a resistance to that, and maybe that has helped boost our immune system in some way. That's the kind of route I'm taking, and I'm saying this as an asthmatic. When I was a child and they found out I was asthmatic, and they did all those tests, or they did a lot of tests on me because they knew I was allergic to something, didn't know what it was. Get this. They came back and said, I am allergic. And I was 5. They said, I am allergic to everything with fur or feathers. We never had birds, but at the time we did have a dog and a couple of cats, I remember. And the doctors were like, tell my parents, you need to get rid of the cats and get rid of the dog, get rid of the animals, basically. And I said, no, don't do that. And the funny thing is, as time's gone on, I have developed a tolerance to pet fur, and it's the dander, the flaky stuff, it's the dander that we're allergic to, and their saliva. Now, when I had cats, what I did notice was if they licked, I had one who was very licky, and if you know what I mean, and if he licked my hand, I had to wash my hands instantly. But if I did get scratched, the scratch would swell up, go really red and itchy, and it would swell up, so I'd have to be really careful to keep that clean. And now, even with Scooby, if he comes up, say I'm sitting on the step, whatever, and he'll come up, and I don't let him lick my face, but sometimes that wet, cold nose touches me, that will itch, so I'll have to go and wash it off. But that's it. That's all I have now. It's just a little bit of an irritation if I come into contact with, saliva or a scratch or whatever, but nothing drastic, nothing that would mean get rid of them. So I think, like they're saying that, you build up this tolerance and you have fewer ailments, I actually think I have managed my asthma in a way which means we can live together as long as I take certain precautions. But related to that, they have also found that people recover quicker, this is in general terms, can recover quicker from illness if they have a dog. Don't fully understand why. Again, are we talking about the fact that they are lowering our blood pressure, reducing anxiety? Is it just the fact you have somebody, I'm saying somebody, not something, because they're not just pets, are they? They're family members. And when you have them sitting there looking up at you with those big, gorgeous eyes and just adoring you and wanting your time, wanting your attention and needing you and loving you, isn't that bound to make you feel a little better? Even if you've had an operation or you've been ill, that alone, knowing just how much they care about you, is that not going to help? I think it will. I think that's probably a big, big part of it. Now, another part of this whole benefits of pets, I just want to touch on briefly, comes to when you have kids in the house. Now, our dearest son, he started talking about getting a dog when he was 4. We did have a cat for a little while, but he didn't really remember the cat. So when he was 4, he was like, I want a dog. Can we get a dog? The usual, can we get a dog, Mum? Can we get a dog? Dad, come on, get a dog. We knew at 4, there's just no way he's going to cope with it, going for the walks and everything. We thought, no, we're not ready to do that yet. We'll wait and see, because we maybe, we thought at the time it might be a phase. We'll see if he comes out of it. 4 years later, he was still saying, can we get a dog? And that's when we got Scooby. And oh boy, has that taught him responsibility. This, I can't be bothered going for a walk. Can you take him? No, you don't skip him. You cannot duck and dive your way out of this one, buddy. So yes, responsibility is huge. And they've also found that kids with pets, they're often less likely to be self-centered than those without, pets or animals in the house, because they've learned the world doesn't revolve around you. You have to look after something else or somebody else. And on top of that, you've got the educational benefits, obviously. They're learning about their diet, exercise, how much does this pet need, behaviour. I mean, our son has learned a lot about dog behaviour because Scooby's had some problems. He's not, violently aggressive. He gets so scared when he sees a dog that he does that jumpy, growly, lunging, but he doesn't really lunge so much. He jumps in a circle and gets himself really anxious. He's really anxious. I've got him on tablets to try and help him. But our son has learned a lot about dog behaviour and the clues and the signs, and he's really good now at reading Scooby and saying, I think we better, go down this way. He looks quite agitated because there's a dog up ahead. He's really good at that. And he'd never have got the opportunity to learn this stuff. I mean, he's actually spoken about wanting to work with animals now when he's older. So who knows where that will lead. But another thing they have found with children who have pets is apparently they have less days off school. That's if you don't homeschool, I suppose. That's one thing we have found. We haven't had many sick days actually homeschooling, but that's a side note. But yeah, apparently the kids who do go to school have less days off if they have a pet. I actually don't know how many families they looked at for this to get the numbers, but that seems to be the idea that they've come up with. So when you put all that together, I think we can safely say that owning a pet, be it cat, dog, birds, lizard things, whatever floats your boat, there are so many benefits. Just having that companionship and having somebody there to look after and who loves you unconditionally. Yes, even cats. I know people say they're very aloof, but trust me, they love you. They love you and they need you. There are so many benefits. Many a time I've just sat with Scooby. We just sit with quiet time, having a wee cuddle, and I'll talk to him, maybe tell him a story, and I know he's listening and he understands a lot. It's just a lovely feeling. And I think, sadly, a lot of people don't realise how much we can get out of this relationship with our pets. And I really wish people would be kinder to their animals, treat them a little better, learn more about them, and also have a think, if you're not willing to have this extra family member and treat them as such, don't get one in the first place. But having said all that, those of us who do have pets and those of us who do look after them well, the benefits really, really outweigh the negatives. There are not many negatives, are there? Apart from when dogs go nuts when they see another dog. You live and learn. You live and learn. We're getting through it. So that wraps it all up for this week. The benefits of having a pet. I hope that encourages you to go over to whatever pet it is that you have and just give them a little tickle under the chin, give them a little treat, give them a hug, whatever it is they can tolerate. You'll know that better than anybody. Like I said at the beginning, this is the last episode in this season. There will be a bonus episode for subscribers. So if you want to hear the bonus episodes, give this a like, a follow, whatever it is you have to do depending on where you hear it, and then you will get access to the bonus episodes. Now, season 4 I have planned, and I am taking a totally different self-indulgent direction. What is it? Well, you're going to have to come back and find out, aren't you? Don't forget to check out all the links below. There are many, and it will take you to all sorts of wonderful and interesting places. But until next time, you take care of your wee self and your furry friend.